You wake up in a warm bed. Your phone is charged. Your bills are paid. Your calendar is full. Maybe you're in a relationship that looks healthy. Maybe you're finally earning the kind of money you used to dream about. From the outside, your life seems to be falling perfectly into place. Friends tell you you're lucky. Family says you've made it. Social media reflects a version of your life that most people would envy. And yet, somewhere between your morning coffee and the quiet moments before you fall asleep, a strange feeling keeps showing up. It's difficult to describe because nothing is obviously wrong. You're not in crisis. You're not falling apart. But you can't shake the feeling that you're only going through the motions. You laugh when you're supposed to laugh. You celebrate when you're supposed to celebrate. You keep chasing the next milestone because that's what successful people do. But deep down, a question keeps echoing in the back of your mind. If my life looks this good, why doesn't it feel that way? That question is more common than you think, and the answer has almost nothing to do with gratitude, success, or having enough. It has everything to do with how your brain quietly rewrites what it means to feel alive. And once you understand that, you may never look at your own life the same way again. Most people assume that emptiness is what failure feels like, but that's not always true. Sometimes, emptiness is what comes after success. Think about the last thing you worked incredibly hard to achieve. Maybe it was landing your dream job, graduating from college, buying your first home, or finally reaching a financial goal that had consumed your thoughts for years. Before you achieved it, your mind turned it into a finish line. You imagined the relief, the excitement, the sense that everything would finally click into place. And when the moment arrived, it did feel incredible. For a while. Then something almost invisible happened. The excitement began to fade. The extraordinary slowly became ordinary. The promotion became just another job. The new house became the place where you still worried about tomorrow. The relationship that once made your heart race became part of your daily routine. It wasn't because those things lost their value. It was because your brain did exactly what it was designed to do. It adapted. This is one of the greatest psychological illusions we all live with. Your brain is incredibly good at helping you survive, but it's surprisingly bad at letting you stay satisfied. If every achievement felt permanently exciting, you'd stop seeking the next opportunity. So your mind quietly resets your expectations. Yesterday's dream becomes today's normal. And today's normal becomes tomorrow's reason to feel restless. That's why people who seem to have everything can still feel like something is missing. They're not chasing happiness anymore. They're chasing the feeling they remember happiness giving them. There's a difference. One is real. The other is a memory your brain keeps convincing you can be recreated by reaching just one more goal. Now think about the world you live in. Every day you're surrounded by messages telling you what your life should look like. More money, better productivity, a nicer body, more followers, a bigger house, a more exciting lifestyle. The finish line keeps moving, not because your life is getting worse, but because someone is always showing you a version of life that appears better than yours. Without realizing it, you stop measuring your life against your own values and start measuring it against an endless stream of carefully edited comparisons. And that's when the emptiness becomes even louder. Because no matter how much progress you make, you're always looking at someone who's one step ahead. The real question isn't why you feel empty. The real question is, who convinced you that this race was ever yours to begin with? Here's the twist that changes everything. That feeling of emptiness you've been trying so hard to escape may not be your enemy. It may be the most honest signal your mind has ever sent you. Think about physical hunger. You don't see it as a flaw. You see it as information. It's your body telling you it needs something real. Emotional emptiness works the same way. It isn't always telling you that your life is falling apart. Sometimes, it's telling you that you've spent too long feeding your image while starving your inner life. You've been collecting achievements, but not enough moments that genuinely make you feel present. You've filled your schedule, but not your soul. You've become so focused on building a life that looks meaningful that you never stop to ask whether it actually feels meaningful. So instead of asking, "How do I get rid of this feeling?" try asking a different question. What is this feeling trying to show me? The answer might surprise you. Maybe you've ignored the part of yourself that loves creating because it wasn't practical. Maybe you've been saying yes to everyone else's expectations while quietly abandoning your own. Maybe you've mistaken being constantly busy for living with purpose. Or maybe you've spent so much time preparing for the future that you've forgotten how to experience the present. These answers won't appear overnight. They reveal themselves through attention, honesty, and the willingness to slow down long enough to hear your own thoughts again. The people who seem deeply fulfilled aren't necessarily the happiest every single day. They still struggle. They still doubt themselves. But there's one important difference. Their lives are connected to something that exists beyond comfort or achievement. It might be raising a family, mastering a craft, helping others, building a business they believe in, creating art, or simply living according to values they chose for themselves instead of inheriting from everyone around them. Meaning isn't something you stumble across. It's something you build, one decision, one conversation, one ordinary day at a time. So if you've been feeling empty lately, don't rush to silence it with more work, more scrolling, more shopping, or another goal that promises to finally make everything click. Pause long enough to listen, because the life you've been chasing may not be the life you've actually been longing for. And sometimes the moment that feels like you're completely lost is the exact moment you stop living on autopilot and start becoming the person you were meant to be. The most dangerous life isn't the one that's messy or imperfect. It's the one that looks perfect from the outside, while quietly feeling empty on the inside. And maybe, just maybe, that empty feeling isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of the first truly honest chapter.